being a football fan, and by football I mean soccer for my American friends, being a football fan is just weird. Like, you become so emotionally entangled over what a team filled with players that don't know you, you don't know them, whether they won a game of football or not. And it can control your emotions, your thoughts, your moods, your behaviour, your actions. Like, the sheer exuberance and celebration because your team kicked a ball in a net. It's something I want to talk about, because it's difficult to make a video about my thoughts on football when millions, if not billions of people are emotionally connected to a ball being kicked in a net by the human beings that don't even know they're alive. Now, me personally, I used to be this. I was brought up to play football. I was brought up to follow a team. I'm a Liverpool fan. And I supported Liverpool even though I was raised in Southampton. But I followed Liverpool because my father was a Liverpool fan. And I lived and breathed it. And I had such excitement and celebration that my team had scored and my team had won. But when you look at it, okay, your team kicked a ball in net, okay. Well, that means we're winning. Alright, okay, which means we won. Okay, which means we won a trophy. Which means we're the best team in the world. Which means, ultimately, it means nothing. It's entertainment. But if you'd have told me that a decade ago when I was in my 20s, I'd have probably, and did, punched you in the face. It used to be my core identity. It used to be so much about my emotion. I used to feel what I thought was real excitement. If my team scored, I would celebrate and feel such happiness. If my team was losing, I'd feel anger and sorrow, and it would affect my mood and my emotions for the rest of the day. If my friends used to tease me and my team lost, it could... verbal altercations, physical altercations. Now, some people don't see football like that. Most people do, but they won't, or they can't see it. And you wouldn't have told me that a decade ago. But that was a decade ago. That's not me now. And like other videos I post, I'm trying to find people who think like me, which is usually against most of the narrative of society. I can't tell a football fan or your emotion, what's the point in it? Because you wouldn't have told me 10 years ago. It's no judgment, it's just thought processes on this. That people have physical, violent interactions with each other, inflicting pain, spewing hatred, whether it's online or face-to-face, because you were brought up to support a certain team. Like London in England had so many different clubs. And that's based on probably where you're born and or what you were raised as by your family. And like an Arsenal supporter will hate a Tottenham supporter. People hate each other. Because they happen to be born in different places and raised different ways. The same way you were born to have the passion that you do for Arsenal, someone else was born to have the passion they do for Tottenham. Or in any other club. But this is a huge British thing. Now, I'm from England. I don't know what it's like to experience this elsewhere, but I have been to other sports games, especially in America, and their fans can sit amongst each other because it's not that deep. It's entertainment. It's But British, it is that deep. Physical violence. The fans have to be separated. But rewind to, was it 2018 World Cup, England versus Croatia. And what was it? Trippier scored that free kick in the first few minutes. I was in a bar in Cyprus. Jubilation, drinks. I think I threw a stool in the air. I was with my girlfriend at the time, and she's obviously wasn't a massive football fan, but we'd met up with another couple, and the bloke was, and me and him were hugging each other. I completely ignored my girlfriend because the emotion took over me. Now I can watch football, and I just watch it for the entertainment it is. If you support a certain football team, your emotions are affected, your mood's affected, your physical heart rate is affected whether your team scored a goal or conceded a goal. And what's that emotion connected to? That's the thing. Your physical reaction to something that's happening, usually just on the TV, which just means ultimately your name is above another name in a league, and some other human beings that don't even know you're alive will lift a piece of metal in the air. So that's my point. This is my question, is my thought processes as to why we're so emotionally connected to, for most people, just people kicking a ball around on the TV. This emotion has been pushed into gambling. A lot of football fans are connected to their football team because of physical money that they've had to work for, that they've wagered on. And this is a huge problem in itself. But again, that leads towards emotion. That one has probably a bit more value to it, like I've just lost my rent money. Now, covering for me, a recovering gambling addict who has bet millions of pounds in his life, I understand emotion when it comes to gambling. I understand emotion when it comes to gambling. And I've put another video, or there's a video on my YouTube talking about this. But most football fans won't understand the emotion they have connected to it. And if asked, like, just so, have a conversation with me. What is it that excites you so much? Well, we won. Okay. Do you have, like, okay, what's that mean? We're the best team. Okay. But that's not you. It's just on the TV, man. You might go and watch a game or two, but these are other human beings that don't even know you're alive. Oh, I don't get it. I do get it. I do get it. Because that's what I used to do. If my Liverpool lost, don't speak to me for the rest of the day. I'd be in such a foul mood. If we won, I think I might even run around my house naked once, you know, when we won the Champions League in 2005. What? And even if it's a football club, the players just rotate in and in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. So what's the club then? It's just a word, a company, a business. Oh, McDonald's have sold loads of Big Macs today. We're better than Burger King. That is the equivalent. It's actually the equivalent. If you remove emotion and just talk about this intuitively, you're connected emotionally to something that don't even know you exist. And if you look at it logically, there's no reason as to why you should be, other than that's what you were shown growing up. Okay? Just like anything else you were shown growing up, we question it. Now, why does your heart rate go up when your team scores a goal? Why does your mood change when your team concede a goal? Why is it you get pleasure at mocking other team supporters who were just grown to support their team just as you were grown to support yours? Why do people want to inflict physical violence on others because the team that I like scored a goal against a team that I don't like? Okay, well, that's the same for every team, isn't it? those that run the world we live in know this, which is why gambling is a massive part of it. They've worked out a way to hack your brain. Have some gambling. Let's proper hack it. Coming from someone who is so emotionally invested in football growing up. I played it, I watched it, I breathed it. I would make excuses not to go to family functions. I would gamble on it. Heavily involved in the emotional side of football. Playing it's a different matter. That's a completely different matter. Playing it, it's you against other physical beings. You're physically involved in the running, the kicking, the effort you put in, the training. Playing it, it's not even what I'm talking about. I'm not even talking about the people that are playing the game, whether it's you or your team playing. I'm not talking about that in any way, shape or form. Not at all. I'm talking about you sat on the sofa or even sat in the stadium having emotional connection to that team winning or losing, which ultimately means nothing other than they get to lift a metal trophy in the air. Now, the people that are lifting the metal trophy in the air, that's, again, different story. They work for that, work hard. And they get paid off it. They get fame off it. They go down in the history books. It's a different story to what I'm talking about with people who play the game. But even now, it's in 2025, we don't see the fierce rivalries of Liverpool United, Liverpool Man United, who used to kick each other. Like, you're both trying to do well for your own team. It's not the same as that, but I'm talking about football fans. Football fans that have hit their girlfriends or even hit their boyfriends because their team lost. But that team don't care about you. The players that played that game are now not playing for them anymore. That season that you won the league or even where you won a trophy, well, it's now gone. It's irrelevant. But you were caught up in it, emotion after emotion after emotion after emotion. It affects your mood. It affects your behaviour. It affects your personality. It has physical implications on your body. So you can say, what validation are you looking for? I want to be able to say that my team's the best. But they're not your team. Yeah, well, I was taught to support them. Exactly. You were taught to behave like this. When you look at it logically, it doesn't make any sense. You were taught to dislike other people who were also taught to like the team the same way you like your team. But it's not your team. You don't play for them. You might go and watch them, but it's no different to watching a sport you don't. Why do you watch football and have an emotional connection to it, but watch baseball and nothing? Like someone hits a home run on baseball, you're not going, yeah! You don't care. You're just watching it for the entertainment value. So what is it about the teams that you have been taught to support that gives you emotional connection to you, that changes your personality, changes your physical output to the world around you, has control over your emotions, mood and behaviours to the point where you will mock, ridicule, hate and even inflict physical violence on other people just doing the same thing that you're doing? Do you not think that shows something inherently wrong with yourself? Like, why are you allowed and only you allowed to feel this way and behave this way? Don't dare mock my team, and my team's the best, and we're the best. And yeah, but everyone else is also thinking the same. Again, this is my attack on the emotional manipulation of being a football fan. If you can watch your football team and they score a goal, and your heartbeat don't change, not who I'm talking to. Your emotion, your heartbeat changes watching the game. You're stressed, you're worried, you have arguments, altercations online or in person. You don't like people because they're doing exactly the same thing you're doing, other than they're not aligned with the team that you support, which is just nothing more than something on the television. Again, there's only a certain amount of people I'm trying to communicate this with through, because I'm watching the football now. I'm watching Chelsea Wolves, and I watch it for entertainment. I respect football. I still love playing football. I respect the skill. I enjoyed watching it. But when Liverpool are playing, I used to be so emotionally engrossed in it. Nothing to do with my girlfriend. Don't tease me. Don't mock me. I would have violent altercations with people. I've spent millions of pounds gambling on not just that sport, but any other sport. So the emotional connection to it all, I understand more than the average football fan. Because I've done it to the extreme that I can now go, what was the point? Why do I need an emotional connection to my football club that is just a company? The players change. The players don't know me. What am I trying to prove to... Well, we're the best team in London. Oh, okay, well, even if you are, so what? What's this inherent human nature to hate and dislike something that is different to what you were taught? But they were taught exactly like you were taught, but they're wrong and you're right. This goes deeper into things like religion as well. My God, people kill each other who has the best imaginary friend. But again, this is emotional connection to something that isn't real. Now, I get it. The football teams need fans to pay for their wages and support the club. I get that. I get it. But I think they get it in a way football fans don't get it. They understand that people will be emotionally invested in a club that they happen to be born into supporting or free will chosen. Just like they're born into a certain religion, and they will give every part of their persona and identity, their emotional connection to it, when that connection just isn't real because there's nothing there of substance. What is it that creates this in people? And why is it so widespread? And why even talking about it? Most people can't even understand the words I'm saying. Most people haven't even got to this point in the video because they're so angered and triggered, or think that I'm the one lacking intelligence that they attack me for it. So if you're watching this part of the video and you got to it, what is it that makes us behave like this in certain ways? Something that's just happening on the TV. You don't do it with any other company. That's what a football team is. You don't do it with anything like Coronation Street. In fact, you do. That's the thing, you do. You become emotionally connected to EastEnders. But none of it's real. EastEnders ain't real, it's all just acting. Football's only real to the people that are playing it. Religion's, none of that's real either. It has no substance. It's what you're born into as a helpless human being, and you were taught the world around you, how you should behave, how you should act, how you should walk among it. And now it's become your identity so much that you can't even see it. Just as I wouldn't have seen it a decade ago. I wouldn't have seen it. I wouldn't even got to this point in a video. But the world's changing so much, and so many more people are becoming aware of thoughts like I have, that I want to talk about it, I want to post a video on it, and I want to throw a fishing line out there and see what I can reel in.